Hi everyone, Flora here, and today is Throwback Thursday, the day that I share with you a business blunder in hopes that you will not make the same mistakes I did. And today's business blunder is not having a plan for the money that I made in my business. When I first started my business, way back in 1997, I was doing it as a side hustle. So when I made the money, I just used it for whatever. Spending money, whatever. Sometimes I saved it, but I didn't have a plan for it. And in 2010, when I actually started to have more of a bigger vision for my business, that is when I actually started to separate my finances. So literally it was like January 2010. So I switched my business from all in the community, all online, in 2009 to mainly online. And so during that year, I was kind of, growing my business and branching more out online and branching to different audiences and was starting to make some money. And I noticed that it was all jumbled. Like all the money that I was getting was jumbled with my personal money. And so I was like, this doesn't really feel good. I really want to be able to know exactly how much I'm making. So I created a separate account for both personal and my business. But I didn't have a budget. I didn't have a big picture on how I could let my money work for me instead of me work for my money. And again, I didn't really get serious about this until, 2010. But even still, I didn't really know exactly how to budget my money in my business. So I hired a coach later on that year and asked her about the budgeting. She didn't really know a whole lot of business budgeting. And I was like, okay. And so again, I hired somebody else and I hired somebody else. Now granted, these were not financial coaches, these were business coaches. And one coach after another really just couldn't help me. And it wasn't until I finally said, okay, I need a business coach for my business and I need a financial coach for my finances. And once I hired someone that actually specialized in finance, then I was able to make a plan for the money that I made in my business. And then I was able to let my money work for me instead of me working for my money. And that is absolutely huge. And so where do you start? Because I know a lot of people will say, well, I don't even know where to start in, figuring out how to budget my money. Well, first and foremost, the easiest way is to find a certified financial coach. In your community, I'm also a certified financial coach. This is something that I recently did so that I can better serve my people, so I can be both business mentor and financial coach to them. So that is the easiest way. And the reason why it's the easiest way is because financial coaches know what they're talking about. They've been there, done that. They've worked a system that works. And so if you don't have the money right now to hire a financial coach, which financial coaches are usually pretty inexpensive, if you don't have the money to hire one, then I would highly recommend that you start with an emergency fund. That first and foremost, you have an emergency fund for your business. So this could look like anywhere between $500 up to $5,000, depending on how long you've been in business, what your back end looks like, what your overhead looks like. If you have people working for you, you need to be able to pay their invoices. So again, just depending on the level of business that you're at, how long you've been in business, and what your overhead is. The next thing, once you have your emergency fund set, then I would recommend that you create your budget. Well, okay, creating a budget is like the first and foremost, but if you want to actually start putting your money to work for you, build that emergency savings. And also in tandem with that, you need to start creating a monthly budget. You need to create a spreadsheet or a piece of paper that you actually write down what your monthly expenses are for your business. So this could look different every single month. In my business, I have annual expenses and then I also have monthly expenses that come out every single month. So those annual expenses I actually put in my spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet and I use the budget every single month, and I've listed out the monthly expenses, and then at the bottom I have the annual expenses and what month they come out in. And that way you know exactly where your money's going. And also if you have something that you want to start investing in, such as a coach or a new type of platform or whatever, what you can do is you can create a line item for that in your budget and start to budget for it, start to save for it so that you can have that in your business, which is really exciting. So the key for all of this is don't get overwhelmed if you feel like you have no idea where your money's going and no idea how to start letting your money work for you. There's a lot of resources out there, but first and foremost, you have to get clear about, what do I really want for my business? What's the big picture? Is this just a glorified hobby, or are you actually in your business to serve people and help people and make money doing it? And there's nothing wrong with that. So once you're clear on, is this a glorified hobby or is this an actual legit business? And if it's a hobby, then it's a hobby, then you don't really need a financial coach for your business. I would still recommend getting one and having a financial plan for your personal life. But if this is a business and you are struggling financially and you're not quite sure how to let your money work for you, I have a great opportunity. As I mentioned, recently I became certified as a Master Certified Financial Coach through the Dave Ramsey Solutions Foundation, which is really exciting. So if you would like to book a financial coaching session with me, go ahead and click the link below in the comments, and that will book your very first session. What happens after you book your session, I will send you an email that will have an intake packet. This is just a very short 4-page packet if it's business, 3-page if it's personal. And you just tell me that, basically these are a snapshot of where you're at. So when we meet for our 60-minute session, I have a greater idea of where we're starting from. And then we can create a very clear plan of action on how to let your money start working for you instead of you working for your money. Because you don't want to be a slave to the dollar. That sucks. Okay? And like I said, this is one of the things that really changed my life and changed my business, is when I started to create a plan for the money that I was making. I was able to invest more in my business, in my back end. I was able to invest more in a coach and mentor. I was also able to invest more in myself personally, in my retirement and emergency funds and all that jazz. So I hope that this business blunder has helped you today in some form or fashion. If it has, please give it a thumbs up and comment. Also share this with anyone that you think might benefit from this particular video. All right, I'll see you back here soon. Bye.